Nigeria,
Kenya, Ecuador, the USA, the Netherlands, the USA,
Rwanda,
the Netherlands, Zimbabwe, Kenya,
Indonesia,
the United Kingdom. Hi, my name is Kendra and I'm going to be your host for today. I'm a girl advocate and I'm a part of the International Social Justice Girls. The International Social Justice Girls is an all-girls group that's a part of the Salvation Army's International Social Justice Commission. The International Social Justice Commission serves to be the strategic voice for the Salvation Army by advocating for human dignity and social justice issues. As the International Social Justice Girls, I know, they're both similar and really long. We are a group of Salvationist girls, meaning we're part of the Salvation Army from across the whole world who meet together to work on different projects related to social justice issues and United Nations events. This includes the International Day of the Girl, CSW, World Social Justice Day, International Education Day, and dates in the Salvation Army history. We are passionate about social justice issues, the Sustainable Development Goals, and biblical justice. So why this subject? As a girls group, we chose to investigate the question, does more technology always equal better education? Because we recognize that technology has become an integral part of our world today, and education specifically has been heavily influenced by it. You often hear people advocating for more technology in schools, whether it be access to computer labs, iPads, or accessibility devices, and schools that do not have access to technology are sometimes seen as worse off. It seems to us we have to accept as a society that more technology always equals better education. However, as a group with girls from 11 different countries, we know our lived realities are vastly different from one another, and what makes sense for one of us doesn't always make sense for the rest of us. Therefore, we wanted to explore this topic in a way that does not ignore the need for technology to connect a globalized world together, but that does not call into question how much technology is needed to provide meaningful educational experiences. Are you ready to hear from our girls? Stay tuned. Now, Lolo is going to explain a little bit about her involvement working with Salvation Army schools in Kenya.
My name is Berit Lolo. I'm from Kenya and I'm also part of the International Social Justice Girls Group. Currently, I do consulting on inclusive education, and this has given me the opportunity to interact with different special schools in different forums, with the majority of the schools being run by the Salvation Army. And this has also provided me the opportunity to come across some case studies from teachers and students who have shared their experiences on digital education. It has been an amazing journey for some in gaining access to some of these technologies, as learners are trained on how to use devices such as computers, laptops, tablets, and orbit feeders, especially for the schools that have learners with visual impairment. Learners are now in a position to use them without any challenge, and this has proved that no matter their disabilities, they are able to fit into the society. The use of technology in learning has increased the learners' confidence and self-esteem, introducing them to the academic world and allow them to have access to information. One of the major challenges of digital education is the affordability of some of these technologies, which has made it hard for some of the learners to have personal devices to use, especially when they are at home.
Awesome, Lolo, thanks. Do you have anything to add?
Having interacted with learners with vision impairments, I would wish for a technology that not only caters for learners with visual impairments, but also learners with multiple disabilities. A technology that would be efficient for learners who are physically handicapped. Being a student myself, I have been able to incorporate technology in my education, and I would say it has been a great experience. Especially during and after the pandemic, we saw the coming up of online classes and even online graduation. These online platforms have provided a blended environment for learners. Many learners are able to participate in class and also give out their views through online platforms. Enable is an NGO that partners with special schools to empower learners through assistive technology. This NGO has ensured that the Salvation Army Likoni Schools for the Visually Impaired has access to a fully equipped computer lab. This computer lab uses assistive technology that requires the learners to master the keyboard and use headphones during their digital learning.
So it seems the Salvation Army has had a long and close relationship with education. But how is that being furthered nowadays? Let's take a trip around the world and have a look at what teachers around the globe think about the digital divide. What kind of technology do you use in your daily life?
You can tell me from your experience and also from your own perspective. So maybe you could tell us about your name and your position in school, and also where are you from geographically, and also a little about your background.
Nama saya Adisti Manopo, saya dari Kota Manado di Indonesia. Saya seorang prajurit bala keselamatan di gereja. Saya seorang guru sekolah minggu melayani di pelayanan anak dan juga di pelayanan orang muda sebagai sersan mayor orang muda. Dan kemudian latar belakang profesi, saya adalah seorang guru di sekolah menengah atas yang bertempat di Likupang, salah satu daerah di bagian Sulawesi Utara di Kabupaten Minahasa Utara. Saya adalah seorang guru bahasa Jerman di sekolah tersebut. Kalau untuk teknologi di tempat saya mengajar sudah menggunakan ya, walaupun memang sekolah itu terletak di tempat pedesaan, tapi teknologi sudah masuk ke sana, khususnya untuk internet. Kami sudah menggunakan dalam proses pembelajaran, sudah mulai digunakan. Untuk peralatan kami menggunakan PPT bisa, kami pakai LCD juga, sudah masuk ke dalam kelas ya, dalam mengajar, dan juga ada beberapa online aplikasi yang bisa kami gunakan dalam pembelajaran.
Apakah hal-hal tersebut membantu dalam mencapai tujuan pembelajaran?
Iya, itu sangat membantu karena para murid bisa lebih mengerti ya, karena ada media yang kami gunakan.
Okay, as a personal assistant, I obviously use a laptop, desktop, but when I do life skills lessons with the children that I work with, we use projectors, Apple TVs, laptops to deliver lessons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what learning goals does this technology help you achieve in your work?
So with regards to learning goals, some of the goals that we have, I think, is to ensure that our children are able to use technology appropriately.
Okay.
So we try to equip them with the knowledge on the how to do them. So we make them do presentations and I think that's mostly what we try to do, presentation skills and things like that. So you'll find we will, like, especially in some of my classes, I'll give them something like a vision board and say go and come up with a vision board for the year, and then they come through and then they present. So I tend to encourage them to use technology more, as much as I don't mind them bringing me a hard copy of what they want to do. Yeah.
Okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Joy, and today I have with me Mr. Brownwell Mbebie. Mr. Brownwell Mbebie is the head of schools for the Salvation Army, nursery, primary and secondary school. I'll leave him to introduce himself.
Okay, my name is Bramwell Mbebie. I'm currently the head of school of Salvation Army, catering both nursery and primary and secondary school. located in Lagos, Nigeria. Yes, my school will make use of technology. Actually, the internet, it's the closest we can reach out to in CBS, that's Catering Boot School. Personally, when I teach, I make use of the internet because it makes learning easy and accessible for the pupils and students. Using the internet in the classroom, try to create this feeling in the students and pupils actually concerning the topic or whatever concept you are trying to pass out or reach out to them. So the internet is one of the technology we use in the school.
Yeah, and it really helps you accomplish a lot.
Definitely,
right?
yeah.
So you're trying to say that Catering Boot School utilizes technology, right?
Definitely, yeah.
Awesome.
Hello, nice to meet you. Can you please tell us your name, position, where you are from geographically, and a little about your background, please?
Sure. So my name is Lindsay. I currently teach at a middle school in Maryland, about 45 minutes outside of DC. I started teaching pre-K, and this is my second full year teaching health and PE.
Is technology also used in classes like PE?
So our students rely on Brightspace, which is a platform very similar to Blackboard or Canvas. And it's basically a spot where teachers will put assignments, work, PowerPoints, things like that. So our students get all of their assignments from there. I typically use it during PE when I'm giving lessons, like just a brief history of a sport or rules, because when my students come to see me for 2 quarters of PE, we start in the classroom and then we go outside. So my students will come in, they have a do now or a warm up that I call a drill sheet, where they have to go to Brightspace, pick up a Google form, and then fill out the Google form, and that's how we kind of start our class. When it comes to health, same thing. They are in the classroom and they go to Brightspace, they do their warm up, but however, I try to limit their use of technology in my classroom. So once they do their drill sheet, which takes them about like 7 to 10 minutes. Once that's done, they typically will put their devices away unless they have to reference something for group work. And I do everything with them on paper, just because even though they're so immersed in technology, I still think the value of handwriting and being able to take notes is super important. And then when we do have the gym space, I don't have my students use their computers at all, because we only have that for 1 quarter. So when they're in there, I just have them put their devices away and we're all physical activity.
And what learning goal does the technology that you use, the Google form, the Brightspace, the lone computers, help you accomplish?
So with PE, our goals and outcomes vary depending on the unit. And with health, it's very straightforward. The materials given to the state, but for what I use it, it's for them to really recall what we did the previous class. So any sort of, it's usually they answer some sort of like direct recall, but it's also for me to find out where they are, what they know, and what we need to address, because typically in their warm-up, one of the questions is directly related to the lesson that we just did, like either the day before or the week before, because I only see them 2 to 3 times a week. And then I also use them to collect data for like pre-test and post-test and things like that. So,
cool.
How significant is the digital divide between the students you teach in their home contexts? For example, do all students have access to reliable internet, or access to libraries, community centers, or any other way where they can get reliable internet?
Kalau untuk siswa ya, karena itu juga memang di desa, tidak semua memiliki akses internet, khususnya internet ya, dan juga teknologi. Memang beberapa berasal dari golongan keluarga yang kurang mampu, sehingga kalaupun mereka dalam hal ini pengetahuan ya untuk mengaksesnya, mereka lebih sering ke sekolah karena di sekolah menyediakan device yang mereka butuhkan dan juga akses internet ada. Jadi kalau di rumah memang mungkin agak terbatas karena tidak semua dapat akses internet karena beberapa memang tinggal di rumah yang koneksi internetnya memang tidak ada. Jadi ketika mereka mau untuk mencari-cari informasi khususnya pengetahuan, ilmu pengetahuan, mereka harus ke sekolah. Di situ sudah tersedia. Ya, jadi mereka juga bisa mengakses online library ya seperti itu, bisa langsung ke sekolah karena di sekolah aksesnya sudah ada. Cuman mungkin kalau di rumah agak terbatas.
If I had to guess, I would say the majority of our students have access to internet, if not all of them. My school is a little bit different because I teach at a public charter. So some of my students are from the direct area, but some of them are not. So it's kind of hard to tell whether or not internet is accessible for all of them. But I'm gonna say yes, that it is. And there are definitely public libraries and things like that in the area that students could go to for internet if needed. But I think at this point, most of them do.
So how do they respond to the use of technology in your classes, or whether it's homework or assignments? How do they respond? Does it seem difficult for them? Are they coping up well? Any challenges?
I'd like to think not really. It really depends on the type of student that you're working with, because most of them, this is Gen Z plus, so you'll find they're always on a gadget. So working with technology is not that much of a challenge for most.
I definitely think that there are areas even within Maryland that there is a digital divide. There are definitely some counties in our district that aren't as fortunate as us to have these devices provided. And these devices provide an access to a ton of information if these kids learn how to use it correctly. So I would definitely say there is a digital divide. However, I think that has changed dramatically with COVID because we had that whole year where we relied on virtual teaching and getting access to those things. However, from other teachers I've talked to in other specialties, like the digital divide can also be greater for like students that are in special education, regardless of what their where they are. There's definitely technology will always be there to like assist them, but if they can access that technology.
Kalau untuk perbandingan ya dengan di tempat lain, untuk teknologi khususnya, memang karena tempat saya mengajar juga tergolong di pedesaan, memang untuk akses internet dan teknologi dibandingkan di kota-kota lain, sekolah yang ada di perkotaan, apalagi dibandingkan dengan di negara lain, memang belum terlalu baik ya kalau dibandingkan. Tapi sebagian besar memang itu sangat membantu, walaupun hanya beberapa bagian ya dari teknologi yang kami gunakan, tapi setidaknya itu sangat membantu perkembangan khususnya tujuan pembelajaran bisa tercapai dalam penggunaan platform tersebut ya. Walaupun memang belum semua guru menggunakan, tapi kami ada pelatihan-pelatihan juga untuk para guru yang berkaitan dengan teknologi ya pada umumnya, sehingga kami juga tidak tertinggal, tapi para guru juga berkembang dalam hal teknologi dalam mengajar.
Wonderful. And I think it's the same for the students as well. Maybe there are some of them and some of them who doesn't use technology that much, but also some of the students like already good at using technology.
Do you feel there's a digital divide between your school and other parts of the country or other parts of the world?
Yes, definitely. Digital divide definitely is the unequal access to digital technology. So yes, that's a problem we face because it's difficult to reach out or to get these technologies per se because they are very expensive, and when they are expensive, it's difficult to get to. So that is a problem we are facing here.
How significant is this digital divide? Let's say, for instance, every student have internet in their homes. When they have assignments that has to do with the utilization of internet, how do they go about it? Okay,
yes, it's so significant actually because Even at home, it's difficult, or you can see out of the scale of 100, like 80% do not have access to internet at home, to libraries and all that. Even this was so much on the school during the COVID-19 era.
Yeah, that's true.
During that period when we were on lockdown, we had to go back or fall back to technology, and that was when we noticed that it's something that we are supposed to be using often, because it caused a lot of problem. Parents and children could not have access to internet, to all this, because it's quite expensive. So it's actually significant and something that we actually need to look into as well.
Yeah, thank you so much, and thank you for bringing back COVID, because during the period of COVID-19 we realized that schools weren't in session, and so everybody had to fall back to technology and learning from home. So I can imagine students not having internet. Thank you so much for that. So what teaching methods or what tools do you use regularly when teaching?
Okay, yes, in the class, because that is where learning also takes place. There are so many teaching methods we use in the class. We have the group method, whereby we'll bring students together in groups and give them tasks according to their abilities. We also make use of games as well. Teachers will use games to also get their attention, to make them love what you're about or what you are passing out to them. We also have other methods. We do the quiz, the debate. It's just a way to just make this learning process very convenient and comfortable for the pupils and students.
And during using all of these methods, do you use technology when for the games, the debates, the quiz? Do you sometimes utilize technology, computers, and all of that?
Yeah, like you said, sometimes, actually, not often, especially when we can access that at that moment.
Okay.
Make use of it.
Thank you so much.
Wow, that's a lot of information. Just a quick note, I wanted to let you all know that there will be an option to ask questions, communicate with girl advocates, and connect with others. But for now, we're going to take a quick brain break. Wow, Maranza, that was a lot of information.
I agree, but it was very interesting, right?
It was really interesting, but I think a little game to lighten the mood would be really cool.
I totally agree. What did you have in mind?
If you could choose any part of the entire world to learn about something, where would it be and why?
Wow, that is a difficult question, but a really good one. Well, it's hard because there are so many cool places, right? But I think I want to go to Australia and swim in the Great Barrier Reef, because it's so beautiful, and the nature and everything, to learn more about that, and maybe also work on my surf skills,
Oh yeah, I want to surf too. That's always been a dream of mine.
Right? It's so cool. You just feel it. But I don't know. I think when I get on the surf thing, I will probably fall a lot. But why not? It's worth the fun. But also the nature education, yes. And you?
Oh man. For the longest time, my favorite subject has been history. And so I just think it would be so cool to go all over Europe and visit different landmarks, learn about different cultures. That's always been a dream of mine. So that's probably what I would want to do.
That's so cool. And you get to visit me in the Netherlands.
I know, that'd be so awesome.
Yeah, but if you have to pick, because Europe is quite big, so if you have to pick one place where you would go, where would it be?
Probably Italy.
Because of the good food?
The good food and the Colosseum. Those are place.
I totally get that. It's amazing. I want to visit as well. I haven't been there yet.
Really? You're a lot closer than I am.
I have been to Italy. I just haven't seen the Colosseum yet. But I can assure you that the Italian food is as good as they promise.
Oh, I'm so excited now. We'll have to go.
So, aren't you curious what everyone who is watching the event is thinking about where they want to go?
I am. If you guys are interested in sharing with one another the different places that you'd like to learn and what subjects, feel free to blow up the chat. We want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, definitely. So go on, and then we probably should continue with the event, shall we?
We do. We have a lot more to cover.
So stay tuned, everyone.
That was so fun, you guys. Now we're going to take another trip around the world. Those teacher stories were awesome. But now I'm curious what girls around the globe personally think about the digital divide. Will you travel with me again? What kind of technology do you use in your daily life?
As a designer and as a student, do you use a lot of technology?
Yes, almost only. It's very important in my life.
Could you give me some examples of what you use?
Social media is a very big one. News articles, anything like TV, laptop, and anything you can see on a screen, I need it.
Okay, because when you design something, you don't just draw that, right? You use your computer and stuff like that for that?
My name is Melanie Oliveira. I am currently a student at Kane University, getting my master's in social work, graduating in May of 2023. Geographically, my family is from Portugal, but I was born in Newark, New Jersey. Along with being a student, I am also interning at a family success center in Elizabeth, New Jersey. At my internship, we use technology every single day. We still meet virtually for our monthly meetings, and even our weekly one-on-one sessions are held virtually. And we use technology when we're promoting the programs that we're putting on at our center for the people of the community. During our programs, we also use technology to display the topics that we're talking about with our families. We do this by having PowerPoint slides, presentations, and showing videos that relate to the things we are talking about. Thank you.
Nama saya Tenia Wulan AGIP Tengke, bisa dipanggil Wulan. Saya 18 tahun, sekarang lagi kuliah di Universitas Samratulangi Manado, Fakultas Kedokteran. Sebagai mahasiswa, teknologi yang saya gunakan itu HP, gadget, laptop. Iya sih, dua itu. Yang paling penting.
So your laptop and your phone. Okay.
Sí, sí utilizo todo tipo, ya sea un teléfono, una computadora, entre otras cosas necesarias para estudiar y también para desenvolverme en la sociedad.
Perfecto. ¿Qué aplicaciones o sitios web usted utiliza más?
Las aplicaciones, bueno, en la vida social, tanto Facebook, WhatsApp, TikTok, y dentro del ámbito educativo, Google académico y entre otras.
Muy bien, ¿por qué usted usa comúnmente estas aplicaciones?
Como ya había dicho, es más para involucrarme más en la sociedad, para estar informada, para conocer un poco más de otros países, de otras regiones. Y dentro del estudio, las aplicaciones que más necesarias para poder desempeñar bien en la universidad, en el colegio.
Correcto. ¿Qué tipo de beneficios usted obtiene al usar este tipo de tecnología?
Estar informada. el estar inmerso en la sociedad, el poder conocer las actividades o cosas que se vayan desarrollando dentro del mundo, porque este tipo de tecnología y esa red social ayuda a que uno como una persona que vive en el Ecuador puede conocer de otros países.
As a college student, I use technology all the time, from social media posts to readings for classrooms to language learning apps and even communicating internationally with friends, just like the girls in this social justice group with me. Technology is a natural part of my daily life.
Do you use technology within school? Do you think it helps you or doesn't help you? And why is that?
De la universidad. En la universidad básicamente sí. Ahí es donde uno aprende a utilizar una computadora, a utilizar un celular, porque es necesario para la comunicación entre compañeros, para el desarrollo de los trabajos, tareas, entonces ahí sí.
Por lo tanto, ¿usted considera que sí fue una ayuda fundamental?
Por supuesto, fue muy fundamental, incluso en la época de la pandemia uno tenía de contar necesariamente con un celular, una computadora para poder recibir clases, porque si no podíamos de ninguna manera porque estábamos aislados, pero igual las clases seguían y seguían.
Claro, no había el present.
And you use it for your studies?
Yep, I need books, I need summaries, I need people on YouTube telling me what to do.
YouTube, a very important source
Yes.
for all of us.
Di universitas saya ada satu portal namanya Inspire Portal. Jadi bisa diakses untuk mengerjakan tugas, melihat materi dari dosen. Jadi kalau misalnya tidak sempat foto atau video pada saat pembelajaran, bisa kita lihat kembali di portal Inspire. Google Classroom, terus kalau pas kuliah ada portal Inspire, jadi semuanya itu membantu dan semakin berkembang.
Ya, mungkin ya proyektor di sekolah.
Ya, proyektor, ya, ada LCD.
One issue in particular that technology helps solve is the issue of inaccessibility of reading materials for many students at my college. The college is able to purchase materials digitally and then disperse them throughout the student body in a way that allows as many people as possible to be able to access them in a way that would be much more difficult and probably much more costly to do so if they just purchased paper materials and then tried to distribute those amongst students.
How has technology changed since starting primary school to now?
Evolucionado de gran manera porque, como digo, en la época de la escuela no se conocía mucho sobre una computadora y en el colegio ya era una computadora de mesa la que uno podía manipular, pero en el colegio, en la universidad ya es una laptop, es un celular táctil y en esa época no había nada de eso, entonces por supuesto que fue una gran ayuda para la educación también y también para el desarrollo como persona también.
When you were growing up, did you use a lot of technology as well?
I used less technology, but it was mostly like for video games. So we had a computer and we had a TV, but I didn't use it in the way we use it now. I used it for video games.
Also very important,
Very
right?
important, yeah.
And at school, was there any technology at school that you used? In primary school, by example?
Primary school, no. Well, we had a TV as well for educational purposes.
They
But
did the driving
the
thing.
little driving thing, yeah.
So we had these screens and they would drive into the classroom, right? In the
Very,
Netherlands.
very old TVs. Yes.
Really, really big ones as well.
Yes, but it was mostly writing down on paper. And then later at middle school, we got iPads instead of books.
That's pretty cool.
That's really cool. We had everything on it.
How did that work? Did it work for you? How old were you?
I was 13, I think. And it really works because instead of having a big backpack, I could just have one iPad and everything was on it. We did not always use it for its purposes.
You
but
were like 13, right? So
I was 13. I was rebelling.
Yeah.
But care.
But not carrying all those books around, that sounds like
It was
really
amazing.
Yeah.
My bag is so much happier now.
That's very grateful that you didn't use all those books.
Oh yeah.
What are some negative side effects from using technology daily?
Sometimes it's a lot to use all this technology because it's kind of, you're dependent on it. And sometimes it's nice to just go back to book and paper and start there instead of starting with something like social media or something like your laptop. Sometimes it's good to just go into books and go into paper.
Just because you can rely on it, or it's just nicer for your eyes, or why?
Yeah, it's better for your eyes. It's a lot less information that's unnecessary while you're looking at it.
All the TikToks and stuff like that, that's like a lot of information.
A lot of distraction. It's, yeah.
I understand that.
So the negative side effects to having such easy access to technology is that sometimes it's difficult to switch off, and it's easy to get distracted by what's going on your laptop or your phone instead of focusing on what's happening in the real world right in front of you.
However, one thing I don't like about using technology so much in my daily college education is that because it has become so convenient in so many realms of my educational experience, it has made it to where almost every part of my education is attached to technology in some way. This leads to me using technology daily in my classes, and then also using technology when I return back home and I'm completing homework, whether it be writing assignments, readings, or other materials like projects. Even classroom meetings are sometimes moved digitally just for sake of convenience, and meeting up with classmates for group projects often moves digitally to easier accommodate everybody's schedules. This makes things wonderfully convenient and allows you to fit a lot more into your schedule, which is always a blessing. However, it leads to a lot of stress, a lot of sitting in one place for a long time, staring at a screen, a lot of headaches, and just a general feeling of wanting to get up and move and do something. So I do think that at times, there's an overuse of technology that leads to a lack of experiential components in education.
The internet is a very useful tool for gaining information by the learners. Learners are able to access different articles on different topics from the internet. However, I believe that the information being consumed by the learners should be regulated well by the facilitators. The learners should not be able to access too much information from the internet. Also, accessing too much information from the internet may hinder the learner's ability to think creatively and critically and come up with new ideas.
What would you like to see regarding technology in the near future?
In my education, I think it's because it's communications is mostly marketing. I think it's nice to be able to see what actually happens. Like if I design a poster for a specific space, I would like to see the space and the poster on it. So something like VR, so I can actually understand how it works in a room instead of just designing it and hoping it looks nice.
I can imagine that could also help you with the client. By example, when you explain something to me, I normally don't understand.
So when you have VR, then you can just see.
Then I can see what you mean, and then we can discuss better how we would.
What you would change. So I think that would be a very good little thing for us to use.
And also fun.
And also very fun.
We can have fun with
very
it.
Fun.
Wow! We have been to so many countries during this event, and we have spoken to so many people. So what is the right answer? Is more technology always the answer to better education? We have heard the experiences and opinions from girls all over the world. And you know what we noticed? Everyone has had a different experience. And is someone then right or wrong? No, because it's their opinion and their experience. So therefore, there isn't one right answer. And I know what you're thinking. Well, isn't that the same thing you said at the beginning? If you're thinking that, you're not wrong. Because you see, finding the quote-unquote right answer to this question isn't really the point here. The point is that it is always important to hear others' experiences to seemingly simple questions, because our biased viewpoints will never be able to fully comprehend others' lived reality. Only they can tell us their stories, and we should never stop asking for them to be told. Today, we looked deeply at stories and aimed at exploring the digital divide. But this kind of project could have been done exploring any number of issues. We hope that in hearing these stories, something resonated in you. Maybe you have a passion to explore this topic further. Maybe you've been inspired to share your own stories on this topic with others. Or at the very least, we hope you understand the importance of not just considering different perspectives when they conveniently arrive in your daily lives, but of actively searching them out. So again, what's the right answer? How about we change that question? What is your experience? Tell us.